How's everyone doing today? So, some people wonder what these little boxes are for. And basically, these are a cleaning kit. So, this right here is for you to put your oil rag in when you oil your sword. Handy little compartment. I use a microfiber cloth. And then you have some Choji oil, which this one, yeah, looks like it's leaking. We'll get to the hammer here in a minute. A powder ball. It basically has crushed up stone in it. People say you can use baby powder. And what it does is you tap it on the sword. Here, let me get one. We'll use my O-Tonto, because it needs a cleaning. So, and let me get a tissue really quickly. Now what you do is, the excess oil that's on here, you take it off first. Just wipe it down. Okay? And be careful, because, you know, if your blade is sharp, you're going to cut yourself. So, then you take the powder ball. A lot of people say they don't like using this because it scratches the blade. I've never had that problem. So what you do is, get the back. Some people say you're supposed to hit it right here and let it fall down on the blade. I don't see that. It doesn't work. I've tried it. So I just lightly. Okay. You don't have to put a ton on there. It's kind of hard to see because I have a reflection, but you can kind of see the powder right there. Okay, and then you take your same rag, just don't use where there's the oil on it, and just, if you have a bohie, you got to make sure you get it out of there. Wipe it down. Okay. Make sure you got both sides. There's some in there still. And it's only a drawback to a double bohie. Okay. And pretty much that's what that little powder ball here is for. So that's the other thing, it comes in one of these kits. Do you have to buy one of these? No, you don't. I like using them because it's traditional. So, Mikugi pegs. You got Mikugi pegs in here. And then these are rice papers. I don't use the rice papers because it's going to be hard to get more. So I just keep them in here as like a little cushion. Okay. Let's put the powder ball back in here. Now, I'd never use the Choji oil that comes with this because I don't know what's in it. So a lot of people use sewing machine oil. Okay. This little guy is what you use to take out the Mikugi pegs. Okay. Now there's a problem with these, and I had a problem with this one. The head right here, when you would hit, would spin. When you try and use it, the head would spin off. So I did it because it's threaded here. So all I did was put some glue on it, like super glue. It hasn't moved since. Just make sure you don't get it up here on the top, because then that's not going to go in. And then basically what this guy is supposed to be for, make sure you can see this. So there's my Mikugi. You put that on top. I know it's kind of hard, and then you just start tapping it out. I'm not going to take this apart. And then when you're done, once you get it halfway or more out, you can turn it around, and as you can see, this is tapered, and then what you do is you just take it, you can put it right on top and hit it without the little driver pin there. So you would have that off. Okay, and this you want all braced up. Take it and you would smack it, and it would drive it the rest of the way out. That's why these are smaller, made smaller than the Mikuni peg, because you don't want to mushroom the head out. And the reason why it's brass is because brass is very forgiving. That's why you shouldn't use like a steel rod or something. Go to the hardware store, and they have copper rod or brass rod, actually. Little brass rods in the hobby sections, and just get one of those. Because it's less likely to mushroom out your peg and damage it where you have to replace it. Eventually you will. But that right there is what a cleaning kit does. How I oil these, and I'll show you. Because now I have to oil this blade. Some use WD-40, and you can do that. You just have to be careful what type of oil you use, because some oils will actually draw moisture. So I just use the Choji oil, or if I need to polish my blade, I use either Flint's or Blue Magic. Blue Magic will leave a coating on it, which is nice. I have some swords that have blue coating on. I've wiped it down, no signs of rust. So that's one way, and Samurai Bird uses it too, and he hasn't had to do anything to his swords in a long time. So, but if you keep them in the saya, you're not taking them out a lot, you shouldn't get that much moisture. But this guy right here, this is nice because it has a dropper, and this is Choji oil right there. It has a nice little dropper, and I just fill this up. I have a big bottle. So for those who are wondering, and this is really thick Choji oil. Let me see if I can get that. You can kind of see how thick it is, and I just mash it in there. The trick to Choji oil is you want food grade. Okay, that's what you want, food grade Choji oil. I have some other stuff that's pure chamomile, and that's food grade. And I've never got any rust. So I have two different types I use. But as you can see, I just wipe both sides. Make sure you get the Muni, the back of the blade. You don't have to worry about the Seppa. Seppa is no big deal. And then, let me get that one more time. Just go over it one more time. You're not really putting more oil on it. You're just evening the oil out where you can see a sheen. Okay, you don't want big globs on there, because eventually moisture can get trapped in there and the blade can start be rusting. Now people wonder how long or how often you should oil your blades. If you're cutting a lot of water bottles, every single time after that. Like I said, I've used Blue Magic, cut water bottles, put it away. Well, after I wiped it down, never rusted. So it has a really good protective coating on it. If you're not cutting a lot, it depends on where you live. If you live in an area that has high humidity, I would say check them every 3 months. Some people do it like every month, and you can. Here in California, my Musashi, Last Samurai sword, I didn't, because I didn't take it out of the saya a lot. I go a whole year and it shows no sign of rust, and just wipe off the old oil and re-oil it. We don't have high humidity here in California, so that's kind of a plus. So it depends on where you live. You can go 6 months, I would say, if you don't have high humidity, check your blades, wipe them down, re-oil them. That's what I do. Every 6 months here, I go through all our blades, wipe them all down, re-oil them, and then put them back. So, and I cut with, I will say 90% of the blades that we have, I cut with. There's 2 that I don't, only because they're special. So I won't cut with those. Same as my wife, she has 2 that she doesn't cut with. And those are the customs I had specifically made for her. She might eventually one day, because they are very well balanced from Swords of Northshire. So that's how you use one of these little kits. They're very simple, very easy. If you like traditional stuff, they're not expensive. People say get the Hanwei one because it's way better and whatever. I guarantee it's the same stuff. It's the same exact stuff. And this Choji oil is only like $10-12. You know. And I got a big bottle for $9 or $10, so I can refill this up. And I can use this and be fine for like 6 months. Now, if you cut, like I said, and you just have Choji oil on it, re-oil it. Definitely re-oil it, because there's no barrier there no more. But this stuff is nice, and it's food grade. And all you do is read the descriptions and see if it's all 100% natural. If it's 100% natural, then it's food grade. No added stuff, because other oils like machine oil, WD-40, that's all processed. So it's got other stuff in it, which potentially could draw in moisture eventually. I found 100% has less likely to, because there's no additives to it. And you think about nature in itself, how things stay in the environment, and they're perfectly fine. So it's when you alter it is when it has potential of decay, per se. That's just my perception. Yours could be different, and that's fine. So that's how, like I said, use one of these. That's what I use. I bounce between Choji oil and Blue Magic. So, like if I have little scuffs in the blade from cutting, I'll use Blue Magic. I'll wipe the blade all down nice and good and use Blue Magic. So I go in between the two. So that's pretty much it. So hopefully you guys like this little video of how to use a traditional cleaning kit. Funny thing is, they didn't use these. It wasn't until way later, after the Edo period, about the Edo period and on, when they started using these. But before that, because they were warring so much, they never did that. They strike you down, wipe the blade off, put it back in the saya. And because they're using it so much, it never rusted. So they didn't have cleaning kits back then. Until, like I said, about Edo period, middle Edo period onward, because, well, there was less conflict. So, and my form today sucked. It really did. Of course, I've been slacking on my practices too, so that's partly my fault. But practice, 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 right guys? All the time. All the time. So I will see you guys later. Have a good Sunday. And we'll see you next time.